30 minutes past 9. I welcome you to another exciting edition of From the Newspaper, streaming live from AMFM 97.3, where we set the agenda and progress this truth. I welcome you to good morning to you wherever you're listening to AMFM Radio and TV. This is AMFM Radio and TV, where we set the agenda and project the truth. And don't forget, you can watch us live on Facebook at AMFM Radio and TV. And as you're watching us, do well to like, comment, and share. And don't forget, this program is in form of 3 segments. The first segment is the weather forecast reports of 3 major cities in Nigeria: the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, the commercial city of Lagos, and the vibrant city of Ibadan. Where the second segment on the show is the headlines making round of Nigerian newspaper. And as usual, let's bring 4 newspapers to you every morning: the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, and the Nigerian Tribune. Where the last segment on the show is the details to the headlines. My name is SHAQEEROH AKINYEMI.
Audio Jungle.
Moving on to the first segment, which is the weather forecast report. On the first state I will bring on is the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. At 10 a.m. in Abuja this morning, it's raining with 23 degrees Celsius. At 11 a.m. it's cloudy with 24 degrees Celsius. 10 a.m. in Lagos this morning is mostly cloudy. So moving on to the last city on the first segment, which is the vibrant city of Ibadan, where we are transmitting live from. At 10 a.m. in Ibadan this morning, it's cloudy with 26 degrees Celsius, and at 11 a.m. it's cloudy with 28 degrees Celsius. At 12 p.m. it's cloudy with 29 degrees Celsius, and at 1 p.m. it's mostly cloudy with 30 degrees Celsius. At 2 p.m. it's raining with 31 degrees Celsius, and at 3 p.m. it's mostly cloudy with 30 degrees Celsius. At 4 p.m. is rain with 29 degrees Celsius, and at 5 p.m. is mostly cloudy with 28 degrees Celsius. At 6 p.m. The line of Punch newspaper this morning says no immediate plans to implement fuel such as state federal government, and page 24 has the details to that story. Another story on the Punch: 31 states domestic debt is 2.57 trillion naira, and page 23 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle. Presidency, Jonathan split South-South PDP. Jonathan split South-South PDP, and page 2 has the details to that story. And the last story on the Punch newspaper says South Africa dent Eagles World Cup hopes after stalemate, and page 31 has the details to that story. Vanguard newspaper, reactions to Monday's Jerusalem shooting, says Netanyahu. Reactions to Monday's Jerusalem shooting, says Netanyahu. Another writer says UK Prime Minister distance self from attack. Experts call for the escalation of crisis, and the last writer says it is a serious situation says Poplio in page 5 out the analysis to that stories. Says Poplio in page 5 out the analysis to that stories.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Newspaper says how kidnapped Major was rescued in Delta community. In page 6 out the details. How kidnapped Major was rescued in Delta community. In page 6 out the details to that story. More governors, senators, rep eager to join APC, says Siltwata there, and page 12 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Suspense strike after DSS broke his straws with Dangote, and page 8 has the details to that story. Exploration of suspension. PDP kicks as Senate denies Natasha resumption, and page 8 has the details to that story. Another story says PDP, Labour Party order flags Senate's move to stop Natasha resumption, and page 3 has the details to that story. Slashes dialysis cost, expands health reform, and page 29 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle.
Suspense strike as Dangote agrees to how the details to that story. Plan to implement 5% fuel tax, says Edon head pushback from OPS CSOs. In page 16 has the details to that story. To the last newspaper on the second segment, which is Nigerian Tribune. And the latest story on Nigerian Tribune says suspension, Senate Natasha in fresh drama, and page 4 has the details to that story. To that story, the first rider says and his own rider radar to that story that says how DSS intervened. In page 3 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle.
We won't tolerate power supply crises in tertiary hospitals, says Tinubu, and there's one radar to that story that says Northern elders urge governors to negotiate with bandits, and page 3 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle.
And the last story on Nigerian Tribune says no plan for immediate implementation of 5% fuel tax, says Edo, and page 6 has the details to that story.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Alright, so we have come to the end of the second segment. Before we divert into the last segment, let's go on a break. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
Audio Jungle.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi gbà mí gbogbo àwọn ilẹ̀kùn ilé mi ló ti dógùn kódà gbogbo àwọn táìsì tí ń bẹ nílé mi kò lówó lójúmọ́.
Níbo lo ti rà á?
ṣé bí lọ́dọ̀ àwọn kan tí ń tà lẹ́gbọ̀n náà.
Ha! O ti sanwó gbówó. Ṣé o ti gbọ́n pa ilé ìtajà Stardom Homes Wear Enterprise? Ó kúrò ní gbàrọ̀ gùdù. Eléyìí tó dojúkọ ilé ìfowópamọ́ Keystone Bank.
And fully equipped with all imaginable ultra-modern facilities for your total convenience without headache, security, power, environment, parking space, and royal service by their staff. All roads lead to the Aces Hotel and Conference Center today at kilometer 2.5 Ijokodo Akbete Akufo Road at Akere Ibadan. For booking and more information, call 080-8746-7420, 080-9744-1898, or 080-2869-0012. The Aces Hotels and Conference Center.
sọ fún ìyàwó rẹ̀ èmọ̀tẹ́ TV oníkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ ẹ̀míkẹ́mọ́ gbọ́ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n mi èmọ̀tẹ́ TV.
Ìgbà tó tó gbá ní í ṣe baálé ọba gbọ́migbọ́mi. Kọ̀ǹkọ̀ tó tún kọ̀ǹkọ̀ ní í ṣe ọba wọn lálẹ́ odò. Bó jẹ́ tìròyìn tó pójú owó, orin tó dùn ún gbọ́ létí, àṣà, ẹ̀fẹ̀ àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí lọ́lọ́kanjọ̀kan. Ìkànnì AFM rédíò ọba ló jẹ́ láwùjọ rédíò.
AFM fún ìdálárayá, ètò àsìkò, ìkọ́nilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìgbà gbogbo. AFM ní kẹ́ ẹ máa gbọ́, ẹ má gbé kúrò níbẹ̀ nígbà gbogbo. Ẹni tó bá níjó tí ò jó, ẹni tó bá láyọ̀ tí ò yọ̀, ọjọ́ tí ò pẹ́ ni ó sunra yó, kẹ́ ẹ ráyọ̀ kẹ́ ẹ sì máa yọ̀. AFM.
So welcome back to the show. It's still from the newspaper. Don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at MFM 97.3. And when you are watching us, don't forget to like, comment, and share. We are now in the last segment of the show this morning, which is the details to the headlines. And the first story I'll bring on says, doctors to decide on nationwide strike today. The Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors will today Wednesday hold its National Social Security. Dr. Omar Amobi, the doctor demanded immediate payment of the outstanding 2025 medical residuary training fund, settlement of 5 months near from 25 to 35% consolidated medical salary, structural review, and long-standing salary backlog. They also demand the payment of 2024 accountant allowance arrears, prompt disbursement of specialist allowance, and restoration of the recognition of the West African Postgraduate Membership Certificate. In addition, they called on the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria to issue welfare issue in Kaduna State and address the plight of resident doctor at Lautech Teaching Hospital Ogbomoso. Speaking with the Punch on Tuesday, Dr. Oshindara said the outcome of today's next meeting will be determine the association's next step.
Audio Jungle.
Preparation to rejoin her colleagues after serving out the 6-month penalty. Akpoti Uduaghan was suspended on March 6 after the Senate adopted the report of its Community of Ethnics, Privilege and Public Petition, which accused her insubordination of refusing to vacate the assigned seat during plenary. The decision stripped her of salary, aid of office privilege. The senator has consistently maintained that a suspension was politically motivated, linking to it the petition she filed accusing Senate President Godwin Akpabio of sexual harassment, an allegation of Senate dismiss. She challenged the action in court, announcing in April that she has secured judgment in her favor. However, Senate leadership insisted she would remain suspended for the full 6 months. In July, a dramatic attempt to force her way back into the chamber ended in a standoff. A security operative barred her entry despite protests by her supporters outside the National Assembly. Jonathan split South-South PDP. The reported 2027 ambition of former President Goodluck Jonathan has split the People's Democratic Party in the South-South into two camps, with the stakeholders holding a divergent position on the issue. While some party members believe Jonathan should not contest against President Bola Tinubu, various political pressure groups dropped support for the ex-leader. Aides to the former president have been quoted in the media that their principal was consulting on whether to throw his hat in the ring in 2027. It was said to have been sacked to a contest by presidency by the PDP, the New Nigerian People's Party, and the African Democratic Congress. The Punch could not immediately confirm this. Jonathan's home state, Bayelsa, is waiting for a position of Governor Doye Diri on the issue as the ex-president's reported ambition has divided the loyalists of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and suspended Governor Similayo Fubara in Rivers State, with the two camps taking position stance. The other chapter of the party welcomed the prospect of having Jonathan on the ballot, describing him as a breath of fresh air. Party leader in Delta State equally pleads their support for the Bayelsa-born politician, while the PDP in Akwa Ibom State is waiting for Jonathan's formal declaration before announcing his position. To strengthen the party chance in 2027, the Bauchi badly inactive in party affairs since leaving office in 2015. And details of the news is on Punch newspaper.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Assured Kingmakers rejects move to dethrone jailed monarchy. Tension in local government and constituency affairs. Dosu Babatunde told the Punch that the government would obtain a certified true copy of the U.S. judgment before taking action. Meanwhile, division has emerged among the prince of Ikpetumudu two ruling house, Aribile, which produced Oba Oloyede and Fadbemokun, while in some Aribile argued that the throne should remain with them until Oloyede completes sentence. Others insist a replacement should be chosen from the same house among those who previously contested the stool. Prince from Fadbemokun, however, heard that the next Akpetumudu should come from their fold, since Aribile produced the embattled monarchy. Security was tight at the district meeting with the Department of State Service operatives stationed in the patrol van outside the palace. And details of the news is on Punch newspaper.